Hello everyone, in today's video I will be talking about Tottmnt, which is a new TV show. This is my second review of the show. The first one will be linked in the comment section, so you might want to check that out before we begin. Also, spoiler alert. Anyways, let's start. Firstly, I want to talk about episodes 5 and 6, starting with episode 5, also known as Bishop Makes Her Move, which basically talks about Bishop's backstory and why she hates mutants. If you haven't seen the show, I'll quickly tell you what happened. Bishop was making a small presentation to a rich man, Roderick Underwood SR, to get funding for her robots, or basically Mechazoid project. He agreed and gave her 2 times the funding asked, but for a small favor. Bishop has to give Roderick's son, Rod, a job. Which she did. She gave him a job to be in charge of the snacks in her lab where she built the Mechazoids and robots. But one day when she built a robot for her sister Elena, by the way, her sister was born without legs, and she created legs for her plus dedicated herself to robotics because of said problem. Later on in the show, Bishop puts a piece of tape onto the robot for Elena, dedicating it to her sister, since her sister helped her get this far and improve her robots and coding skills. Unfortunately for Bishop, she built the robot on the day that Superfly became Super Duper Fly, and to put it simply, Superfly caused a load of chaos with his huge legs, which made Bishop's workspace turn into a mess. The roof came crashing down yet, but the robot she built saved her, getting destroyed in the process. And that's when Bishop came to hate mutants and think of them as a threat. Also, since she saw the turtles on a rooftop and had a glimpse of Superfly when it happened. End of the episode. Shows how she starts her Mechazoid stuff. Alright, that's what happened. Now, as for my opinion of this episode. Well, I do think it had a small bit of rushing into the story, but other than that, I like that they gave Bishop a story that explained why she became the way she was. And it just gives the show more impact in general, since later on in episode 6 Bishop realizes her wrongs and turns against the corrupted Mechazoids, since they do go a little bit obtuse, to put it simply. So I do think this episode was a success explaining Bishop's story and her character. Next up, episode 6. Night of the Mechazoids. Just to begin with, I'm gonna say I love this episode. I mean, killer robots and ninjas and plot twists. It was almost as good as the original Mirage comics, to be honest. Especially the twist where Bishop changed sides. I don't really think it was that interesting at first when Leo and April entered the empty building. I mean, Bishop made like 100 robots, but no robot wants guard duty. I kind of hoped for a situation like in the 2003 show with heavily guarded entrances at all of the Turtles' enemies' bases, or like in Mirage. Even though I do understand the show was aimed at a younger audience. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. When Leo and April enter and start exploring, Leo eventually meets Raph and the reunite with Donnie and Mikey shortly while fighting Bishop's robots and her, since she built herself an absolute unit of a mech. After that fight, they made the plan how to defeat the Mechazoids while trying not to get murked. Then the EMP situation with Pigeon Pete saving them. I was laughing a lot at that actually. Probably less than kids. I still don't know if it was supposed to be funny or heroic or both, having this mutant bird swoop in and grab the EMP, making the robots go boom. On the other hand, the aftermath of that fight leaves Bishop turning herself into the Earth Protection Force, but Leo and April enter and start exploring. Leo eventually meets Raph and the reunite with Donnie and Mikey shortly while fighting Bishop's robots and her, since she built herself an absolute unit of a mech. After that fight, they made the plan how to defeat the Mechazoids while trying not to get murked. Then the EMP situation with Pigeon Pete saving them. I was laughing a lot at that actually. Probably less than kids. I still don't know if it was supposed to be funny or heroic or both, having this mutant bird swoop in and grab the EMP, making the robots go boom. On the other hand, the aftermath of that fight leaves Bishop turning herself into the Earth Protection Force, but now I've finished talking about the first 6 episodes about Bishop. It's time to move on the last 6 episodes about the East River 3. Now I've finished talking about the first 6 episodes about Bishop. It's time to move on the last 6 episodes about the East River 3. Raph vs. Water. Raph and his brother and the mutant animals get sent to touch grass basically, since Splinter wasn't having fun with dealing with children and they didn't exactly want to meditate, so Raph started getting angry and chaos started. He, Scumbug, and Ray start going through the sewers, the annoying noise of a human trying to drill or break the walls. Later they realize the human was forced into it by the East River 3. Plus get attacked by small sea creatures, and then they actually managed to get away. So I'd rate this episode 6/10. I mean, the plot was kinda too fast revolving for me, so yes. But I did like that they added new villains. Next up, episode 8, Mikey takes charge. Now there's a load to talk about here, but I'll sum up the episode quick so I can give my opinions. In the episode, Mikey and Genghis Frog go to a grocery store, but it's being healed up by Purple Dragon, and Angel has beef with Raph for stealing her bike and making it go boom. So yes, a lot of stuff happened. But then Lee the eel comes in and Mikey has to protect everyone while Genghis is focused on trying to eat the shop owner's cat. Lee sets the water from the flooding on electric mode, but Mikey manages to stop her from hurting anyone more than she has already. What do I think? I think the episode was good. It had a little action but also introduced Lee to the audience in an interesting way. Although I do want to point out how I liked that it was not just a two-side fight because the Purple Dragon, so it had more chaos, which was fun to watch, even if it got a little boring when they repeated the rivalry between Hun and Genghis over the cat being eaten. It was